The views and opinions of the host and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
The aftermath of every social revolution brings about change. Cultural norms and landmarks shift as our minds and hearts expand beyond the familiar. To everything, there is a season and a time to every purpose in the land of the living. This is our time to renew, revive, and restore the hope lost to the busyness of life. This is our time to dig again and rebuild from the storms of our past on a solid footing that holds. Welcome to The Foundation.
The Foundation.
The Foundation with Hart Grant is brought to you by Alive, Bound Bones, Burger King, Commonwealth Bank, Da Vinci Printing Innovators, ESC Distributors Limited, Grand Bahama News, Marco's Pizza, the National Insurance Board, Ron's Electric Motors, and the World Athletics World Relays.
It's a Friday evening, boom, the people have died of working. Lord, them hear the disco playing, boom, it make them feel like dancing. Ain't no summer say, Brita will be greater with the disco operator. 5-double-18 and a 6-tweeter. This a digital sweeter. See Lord, them just up with the echo chamber. Watch your man, play the play. I them on tear off the game. Them up to step it with them can't sit down.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. 96.9 FM radio. Howard Grant and your company, The Foundation. It is a Friday again. I am grateful for it, ladies and gentlemen. We reached Friday. I know you guys have a great deal of things to do on the weekend. I hope that if you're celebrating a birthday, that you're having a good time, right? Just talk to me. Just be decent about what you're doing, right? I think there is a level of pledge to indecency. We're hoping that you don't take that pledge. There is a beautiful, beautiful sort of a thing coming up, bubbling up. I know you want to talk about it. It's exciting, right? Make sure you pick up the Guardian newspaper, see all the information's in there. I think a lot of us had great expectations to what we saw coming to the forefront and, the inevitability of it all. I got a couple calls today and we will talk about it. Guys, I'm going to open up the lines for you so we can have a good conversation today. You know we can get into a little taste of politics. Don't fight me. Let's do the thing. It's a beautiful day, guys. I got to shout out to my good, decent people over at AFS Insurance Agents and Brokers. I always try to start it off with decency. Reach out to my good, decent friend, Ethric Bow, over at number 407 Blue Hill Road South. AFS Insurance Agents and Brokers. They got everything for you. If you're in the market for your insurance, let's just be decent. If you're in the market for that and you want to be able to get your things taken care of, SDs, jitneys, your livery trucks, vehicles, all your stuff like that. If you're doing that, if you have a fleet, make sure you reach out to my guy. You can get in-house financing. You can't beat that. They're open up on Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. every other day, 9 a.m. to I think about 5 o'clock. Make sure you check them out, 3411-AFS. 3411-AFS. Guys, the Guardian newspaper is available to you. I know it's after 12, but I'm hoping that you read it. If you didn't read it, read the thing this morning. It is bananas. Let's see it. FNM convention set for June 1st. Nomination set for next week. Grand Bahama Port Authority payment deadline is up. Lawyers locked in talks as the port fails to make any payment to government. This is an exciting time. Next week, I want to be able to dive deeper into that conversation. So I will call my people at the Port Authority and see whether or not they have representation that can be able to speak from this particular standpoint and say exactly what's what. Their formality probably won't allow them to talk about these things, right? But if we could find someone to talk about what's going on, I'd love to do that. Like I said, pick up your paper. MP raises concerns on Abaco fuel leak. This is a strong thing. So we want to be able to see those things and see things come to the forefront with transparency. After concern was raised in Parliament on Wednesday about the ongoing fuel leak in Marsh Harbor, Abaco, Minister for the Environment, Vaughn Miller, said that the government is actively involved in managing the situation. This leak has been coming from a fuel line of a service stations, according to St. Anne's MP Adrian White, who raised the issue in the House, showing photos of the leak, which is labeled an environmental disaster. Guys, you know what is an amazing thing? whilst we continue to be able to agitate for this concept and idea of freedom of information, access, and a sense of transparency in government, Bahamian people can find the strategic persons who's willing to put that information out to the forefront, who's willing to put that. And you know what? I think it stings more when it circumvents the roadblocks that you've set up, that everything can go through you. I think it stings a little more when the information comes to the forefront despite. I want to commend Von Miller in his particular capacity for being able to speak to that, identify that as a Minister of Environment, and we're hoping for quick solution and resolution in this particular capacity. Let's talk about those things. Guys, 323-6232, 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259, anywhere from the Family of Violence, 242-300-5720, or hit me up 422-4796. We got everything available. Make sure you read page 2. In the national news, new law would allow BPL to right-size operation. IRCA officials say. IRCA Corporate and Consumer Relations Manager Juan McCartney is in there talking about some things that's happening with IRCA. So it's an exciting thing to be able to see exactly what's what and see a familiar face in the place for men to be doing these particular things. We're talking more, and I want to be able to get into this new electricity bill, removes Grand Bahama Port Authority as a licensee authority. So, whoa, this is crazy. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about these things. Now, we had over the course of the last, over the course of the last 3 months, from the beginning of the year, all right, aside from what was happening with the increase of crime and murders in the country, we've had an increase on this show here, The Foundation, where politicians have reached out to us, more specifically politicians from the Free National Movement, being able to speak on behalf of what they're doing individually, what's happening within the organization, and what the expectations are going forward. We have had relentless, continuous conversation. Garth's going to be here in a few seconds, so don't fight him. He's going to be here. He was fishing, so he just got in this morning, so I'm grateful that he's even joining me today on the show, so I'm grateful for that. But we've had significant conversations over the past few months about, or with, Free National Movement leadership. Let's be clear. Don Sanders, before his unfortunate demise, Don Sanders sat with us. We had his capacity was deputy chairman of the organization. We've had Chairman Dr. Dwayne Sands sit with us to speak specifically, I think that was October of last year, but to speak specifically as to what's happening within the Free National Movement and what our expectations can be to settle this kind of a quote-unquote social feud as to whether or not the party has leadership, whether or not they're questioning the leadership of Michael Pintard and his capability, whether or not he has the tenacity and the wherewithal to be able to take them all the way, right? So there was a social feud that actually erupted from a political standpoint. And so Garth and I and others continue to be able to kind of talk about it. We had Dr. Hubert Minnis show up on the show with no desire to have any conversation about the politics that exists within the organization. More specifically, he brought us a book and wanted to kind of push the book and talk about the books and the elements of the book and so forth and so on. We grab what we can from him. We did what we can in terms of being able to ask him a few questions on the backdrop of whatever we could kind of meander around the language that was in the book and then draw a contrast. We did our best. We did our absolute best, right? we did our best. Don't fight me, right? And then I knew that Michael Pintard was coming to sit with me. I didn't know when. I knew that he would come and sit with me. I didn't know when. In fact, I said to you on a Friday that he would come to sit with me, but I don't expect it to be really anytime soon. And then that Monday, boom, Michael Pintard showed up. Right? So I see there's a quote that if you're always ready, you don't have to get ready. Praise God. So we were ready to have that kind of a conversation with Michael Pintard. And the one factor that I think, for me, for Howard Grant, that I pushed with Michael Pintard is his incessant desire, the relentless approach for trying to be able to speak to and give sort of poetic connotations and backdrops to the level of perceived corruption in the PLP. That's the one thing that I think I pushed him on, right? Like you don't have to say that the PLP is corrupt or is perceived corrupt, right? This is something that we've heard from the FNM for a very long time. This is something that the PLP has never fixed. Never. We talked about this. If it's right or wrong, the PLP never did anything to fix this, to fix the perception and the idea of corruption. So, like a fungus, it grew on the organization. It has now become a living organism on top of the Constitution in the PLP. You are perceived before we see your organization, before we see your stance, before we see your position. You are perceived because you never did anything to spray off and wash off this idea of corruption socially, what people call you. Not necessarily that's what you are, but based upon the fact that you didn't do anything to wash off this stain, it has grown. It's become an organism within your organization. I getting somewhere. Let's be decent. So, after this, after we've seen all these things and the layout of what's happening in the organization, after Michael Pintard keeps coming to the forefront saying to the level of corruption that exists in there, and I asked him, I said, Mike, listen, I only imagine, I haven't seen you in leadership capacity in terms of prime minister just yet, but I imagine asking various prime ministers the same questions. More specifically, asking Hubert Ingraham the question, well, Mr. Ingraham, what are your thoughts about the PLP spending $100,000 of the taxpayers' money for a by-election on tickets to go to West Grand Bahamas by-election? And I only can imagine, and we spoke about this, and you heard me say this many times. You put the mic in former Prime Minister Ingram's mouth, and he would say, well, the nature of the PLP. Because the branding has already existed. There's no need for you to expand upon the branding. They've done that ad nauseum from 1987. From 1987. In fact, I can go further. From the free PLP concept, from Cecil Wallace Whitfield, they have created the concept and idea that there is corruption at the core of the PLP. The PLP has done nothing to eradicate that. Now, it could be true, it could be false, but it is what it is. That is the truth. No one's done anything to wash that stain off. Anyway, I've said that to PLPs also. I've said that to Fred Mitchell. We had a very good conversation about that on air. Now, through the course of our conversation with Michael Pintard in his capacity as leader of the Free National Movement, he's indicated to me that he doesn't see that the PLP can go past September 17th. And it is our intent to have a convention before September 17th. And so calculations go on in my head based upon the speculations that's happening on the ground. And I said, the FNM should have a convention by the middle of May. Before we go to summer break, the FNM should have a convention. I said this. I had significant conversations with persons around the table. And I said, if you all know these things, settle the thing now so you could unify the organization, identify the people in various constituencies, get those people on the ground, introduce them to the public, do what you have to do, so forth and so on. Just casual conversation. But this is what we're talking about. Ladies and gentlemen, last evening we got information. If you live under a rock, maybe this ain't your thing. We ain't gonna fight you. With the party plagued with disunity, in some instances infighting, the Central Council of the Free National Movement, FNM, last night voted to hold a one-day convention June 1st, 2024. FNM leader Michael Pintard told the Nassau Guardian after the meeting that this will be the final voting convention prior to the next general election, and there will be no nominations from the convention floor. Nominations for the June 1st convention will open on Monday, April 29th and close Friday, May 3rd. This means that if former Prime Minister Kennedy, you're wrong. You need to stop. You didn't even go into no further detail. Let's get right to it. Let's get to the meat and potatoes and have a deep conversation about what we came here to talk about. And what is that? The aspirations that exist within the hearts of many that seek to see former Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis back in the position of leadership in the organization. And so it goes on and says, this means that former Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis wishes to launch a bid for leadership, as has been widely speculated, he has just 1 week in which to be nominated. Lines open if you want to be able to do that and have a conversation with me. Please do so. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Anywhere for the family violence, 242-300-5720. Hit me up, 422-4796. Live and in full effect. Call on the line with us live. Go ahead. Go ahead, caller.
Hey, good day, Howard.
Hey, what's happening?
What you want to be nominated for?
I won't be nominated for going to heaven. That's it. Y'all need to stop. Why y'all just pull me in the thing?
What you gonna pull you in the thing?
I did this.
I don't
have nothing to do with the Free National Movement.
Huh?
I don't have nothing to do with the Free National Movement.
Okay, so
I'm not a voting member. I'm not a council member. I'm not a card-carrying member. I lie to you. I have a card, right? I don't pay my dues. Let's be decent, right? I ain't in there for them.
Yeah, cause you. I mean, you're doing a lot of preaching, and we waiting to talk and get to it, man. You know what I mean?
You got to set the base. This is a talk show. Let me do my thing. Don't fight me on my job.
I know, but it can be sweet. It can be sweeter when the people call in.
I can fight you.
Keep,
Go ahead.
keep it live, because fly and flip flop and fill them. You know what I mean? They're trying to pull a fast one on us with the BPL thing. Now they're trying to push through one fast bill to what they said yesterday. They coming up in Parliament to discuss next week, right?
Mm-hmm.
How you feel about that?
Well, I won't talk about it next week. I can take the time out to be able
that can be too late, man. Today's Friday. You got to get it out there today.
We only got 2 hours. How much time you think we got? We ain't got all day.
No, I mean,
we'll do our best.
How you feel about it now?
We'll do our best.
You think you see what they're trying to do? They try to duck the regulators so they could raise the price, and then they try to give it to one of the loyalties or cronies or whatever, right?
Well, like I say this, I think socially, when we identify these things, after you've created if you created a standard for persons to be able to identify, if you've created this space for persons to run into, if you've created regulations and an authority to be able to look over that, and now you seek to kind of circumvent that, I think socially, based upon how politics works in the country, a lot of eyebrows will go up and ask the question, well, what about IRCA? What about this? What about that? So I want to have a kind of stretched out conversation about it.
I don't find it a fly and flip-flop and fill in Georgetown.
Why don't you all be decent and call the man by his name? He's the Prime Minister of the country.
Yeah, I know he's a Prime Minister, but still, instead of calling him down a nickname, you know what I mean, is what people see him to be now.
My God. Yeah, indecency.
He got another nickname, right?
Your indecency is rich. I can let you go. You have a great day.
Ain't indecent.
You have a great day, my brother. Yeah, you indecent today. You have another nickname. This man is the Prime Minister. Prime Minister Philip Brave Davis. That's the only one we call him. Brave. Let's be able to talk like this. Have a good conversation. Guys, the lines are wide open. If you want to be able to join me, please do so. Telephone call on the line. Go ahead. Call on the line with us live. Go ahead.
Howard, good morning.
Good morning. How you doing?
How you doing?
I'm fantastic.
Oh, man, you need to stop talking, man. You talk too long.
My God, this is a talk show. What y'all want me to do?
You know how long I call you and I've been on hold and they hang up the phone?
Why they hang up on you? Now, people call me and tell me, Howard, you just hang up. I don't touch the phone. I only answer.
Somebody hang up the phone.
Praise God.
Anyhow,
I you. Go
before
ahead.
you get deep into your show, I would like to wish Miss Sheila Culmer a happy birthday.
Miss Culmer birthday today?
Yes.
Miss Culmer, happy birthday to you.
Yes, and let her know this is coming from Miss Sims, and I love her, I love her, I love her. I hope she enjoy it, okay?
Miss Sims, thank you so very kindly.
Okay, Howard.
I got a
Now,
neighbor
man,
named
please,
Miss Sims.
You talk too long, man. People is trying to get you, and you just talking.
Okay, I can slow down.
Yeah,
I got a neighbor named you. My neighbor.
No gauge.
You use my neighbor?
I'm your neighbor, but you promised me something one time, and you never show up, so I still
I
wait to
can't.
hear from you.
Call me.
How would you do a show on the disabled man? You look like you ducking from that.
No, Miss Culmer actually told me let's sit down and talk about that.
Yeah, man.
She told me she wanted to talk about that.
Yes. But anyhow, I want to wish her a happy birthday and hope she enjoy it. And I hope her children just love her, love her, love her.
Praise
okay?
God. I appreciate that.
Okay, Howard.
Thank you so much. Ms. Culmer, I know you're listening. Happy birthday to you. I pray that the Father continues to be able to bless you on this 26th, what today is? The 26th day of April. I pray that you continue to be able to move on in strength and determination. I know your girls love you. I know your children love you, your grandchildren, so forth and so on. So I hope that you're doing well and you continue to be able to move in the direction that the Father calls you to move in. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. Ladies and gentlemen, like I said, if you're celebrating a birthday also, happy birthday to you guys on this weekend. Now, you always fight me so much for talking. I don't understand. I don't understand this. This is a talk show. This is the whole job. This is the gig, right? But I'll do my best. I know everybody will have a little 2 cents to say and all these things like that. But we got to set the precedent. We got to set the precedent more specifically as to what happened within the Free National Movement. A lot of persons feel indifferent about when I start to talk about the organization because it reeks an unfamiliar organization for me. It's not one of the organizations. It's not one of these things. It's not condemnable. I don't think it's condemned for destruction. I don't think that the organization is done. I don't think that the organization is the DNA. Let's just be decent as I say this. I don't think that the organization is the UBP. Somebody can call and say, the UBP is the F and y'all need to stop, right? I don't think that the organization is any of these organizations that present themselves as a flash in the pan. I think that the Free National Movement, if they do significant introspection and understand their strengths, their powers, and understand the talent that exists within their organization, they can be a viable force. I have been extremely disappointed with the organization over the course of the past, I want to say maybe 5-7 years, is because, as I grow and I mature and have a clearer understanding as to what needs to happen in our country, and then I do business and I get my business license and I start to have conversations with investors and I realize the nature and the rhythm of business in our society, I become even more disappointed in the Free National Movement because this is what you do. This is what you can do. You identify these things and present to the Bahamian people a concept and idea to be able to move forward. Become very disdained with them and separated myself significantly from the organization. I think a lot of us in this country have done that. Not necessarily from the Free National Movement, but from politics, the formality of politics entirely. It's nothing worse than when you know someone has the potential to do great things and they just messing around with their talents. And so you look at it and you say, I don't think I want to be a part of this. That's where I am with the organization. And now, because I sit in this position of a pundit nationally, I identify those particular things and I could bring to you and assess these things like this. Now, it may be hard for some people to swallow. Maybe you think I'm getting a check from the PLP. My God, they owe me retroactive pay if that's the case. Jesus, I ain't getting nothing. Maybe you believe based upon the ideas that exist in your mind and what you were taught about local politics that if a man opposes you, he getting taken care of by somebody else. I'm not that low life of a human being. I'm not. I'm a decent, and I don't sprinkle the decency upon myself. This is my pursuit and my focus. I'm good. They would tell you that. I say, I'm good. Thank you, Bola, I'm straight. But if through mere observation, I see the party going deeper into this hole, deeper into the oblivion, and really being able to erode the pillars that the organization stands on. This is Howard. This is just observation. And so I speak to it. The one thing, the paste that can be able to hold a couple things, the fragments that continue to flicker in the organization together, is unity. Leadership must be able to unify the party. And so that takes a lot of mouths being shut up. A convention will do that. And here we are. I want to be able to take this commercial break, ladies and gentlemen. The lines are going to be wide open. I want to have good conversations with you. Quick commercial break and be right back after this.
Foundation. Foundation. The foundation. The foundation. Foundation.
Do you have uncontrollable debt? Are you ready to make that move to Fidelity for a stress-free future? These loans have a built-in savings plan that pays you unbeatable interest. Ask about our debt consolidation loans today. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
Bonneville Bones, established in 1970, is the leader in men's fashion in the Bahamas. We're conveniently located in the mall at Marathon and the Harbor Bay Shopping Plaza, and fully stocked with everything you need for all occasions. Our Harbor Bay location is one door north of Alive, with the black and white signage of Bonneville Boutique. Both locations are open from 10 to 7 p.m. Monday through Saturday. Bonneville Bones and Bonneville Boutique, still the leader in men's fashion, located in the mall at Marathon and the Harbor Bay Shopping Plaza.
Here's to the go-getters, the early risers, and the late-night dreamers. You, the visionaries, painting futures in your mind, in your studio, your office, your sacred space. Here's to the adventurers, explorers of every realm. To you, the innovators, turning the cogs of progress. In a world where connection is a lifeline, a pathway to possibilities. Alive is the perfect connection for everyone, every lifestyle, every day.
Visit BeAlive.com today.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Calling all pizza lovers. Craving something extraordinary? Head into Marco's Pizza and try our Golden Crust deep dish pizza. Made thick and delicious with fresh dough, fresh cheese, and fresh sauce. And baked to perfection with your toppings of choice. No one makes pizza quite as good as we do. Enjoy all this goodness for $14.75 only at Marco's Pizza. Make the right choice and order Marco's at marcospizzabahamas.com.
Get ready! On May 4th and 5th, athletes from around the world will compete to secure their spot in the Paris Olympics. Come, witness history as our Bahamian athletes run against the world and chase the sun. From paradise to Paris at the BTC World Athletic Relays here in Nassau, Bahamas at the Thomas A. Robinson National Stadium. Get your tickets now at worldrelaysbahamas24.org or at the Andre Rogers Baseball Stadium box office or at BTC Mall at Marathon or BTC Southwest Plaza. BTC World Relays. Be there.
Foundation. Foundation. The foundation. The foundation. 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 The foundation. The foundation.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, 96.9 FM radio. Howard Grant in your company, the foundation. Beautiful day. Lines are wide open if you want to be able to jump in on the conversation. We're talking more specifically as to the information that we received last night. One-day convention to settle it all. One-day convention to settle it all. To put the proverbial muzzle on the mouth of those particular persons who are going contrary to what they believe can happen or what they think they should happen within the Free National Movement. This ain't about the Free National Movement show, but today they've made significant headlines. Why? There has been relentless speculations about the fact that Dr. Hubert Minnis wishes to be able to return. Every time I ask him or anyone else ask him from a media standpoint, he utters the exact same thing. There is no vacancy in the Free National Movement now. Well, Dr. Minnis, there has become a vacancy. On June 1st, 2024, there will be a vacancy of all seats in the Free National Movement. Every seat, everyone is available. I'd like to be able to see whether or not the thriving concept of democracy exists within the Free National Movement at this point. I know over the course of a few conventions, there has been this sort of an idea where people say, if you don't get the blessings of the leader, if you don't get the blessings of this one, then it doesn't make any sense to put your hand forward. People got the aspirations now. They get the idea, they get the desire to move to a position of treasurer or move to a position of, vice chairman or whatever the case may be. They want to put their hands forward. But, the culture within the organization says that if you don't get the blessing of leadership, well, you might as well don't go. It happened to me. I was called and asked whether or not I would consider the position of chairman of the organization. I said, yeah, I consider it. I'd love to do that. If this is, what leadership sees for me to have, I'd love to be able to get a chance. After I then put everything in motion, get my family geared up, put my name out there, do all these things, then information came back to me. Leadership, they say they're going a different way, you might as well step back. I said, step back for what? Yeah, because you can get beat. I say, get beat many times when I was young. I ain't dead yet. You think I can let a little beating stop me? Let's go. And my God, did I get beat. But I still here, praise God. I'm not going to fight you. I'm very interested to see what's going to happen within the Free National Movement. I'm very interested to see, I got a call this morning that says that they believe that Michael Pintard will retain the seat. Can I say this? That no matter who goes up against him, Michael Pintard will retain the seat. That the strategy associated with the idea of Michael Pintard moving in a specific direction at this particular time has to do with one thing. He's not affording those that oppose him enough time to stretch it out for themselves. He's not affording those that oppose him to be able to get all the ducks in a row and present by Friday of next week. I'm excited about it. I'm interested to see whether or not this strategy, if it is a strategy, will work. Let's talk about it. 32362, 32325, 4316, 325-4259. Anywhere from the family of violence, 242-300-5720. Hit me up, 422-4796. Telephone call on the line. Go ahead. Go ahead, caller. You on the line with us live? Hello?
Hey, Howard.
Hey.
Good day.
What you say? All is well?
Listen, I have a question or something.
Oh, go ahead.
I want to know one. First of all, you said Michael Pintard isn't given time, but you remember how long ago was he saying at least before September he was, I'm thinking about having this.
Yeah, he said that. He said before September 17th, yeah.
So then whoever wanted to go against him, they had enough time because they could have been preparing all this time.
I agree with you. Let me hear it.
Exactly. Now, second thing, I somehow, by him saying that, it just gave me the election bug. You know, I want ink my fingers so bad.
You ready to
I
go?
want to. Oh yeah, but I want to know.
Okay.
Did Anton get paid so far for his well done job? Because if they lose, they ain't pay him. They can pretend to not remember they owe him.
You are wilding out.
I want to know if he get paid. So that's like I said. Did Anton get paid thus far? Because I know these people don't like to pay.
Anton tell me he's not on nobody payroll.
Man, he on the payroll. I don't care on the payroll because you know where you could be all that talking for free. There's some shingles and walls for him somewhere.
You think so?
Oh yeah, man. There's shingles and walls, man. We all know that. Anton ain't gonna be spreading that thick, laying it on that heavy every opportunity. Come on now, Howard, man. You talking a lot, but you talking this. You're getting paid to talk. Am I right?
Well, I just get paid to talk, of course. That's what I do.
You know, and Anton is a professional. He's not just a PLP. He's a professional PLP. So tell him, make sure collect. 'Cause I could feel the election bug get me. I looking at my finger now. I can see the blue ink ready to drip.
You calm down. Put your hand in your pocket. Put your hand in your pocket, right? Don't look at it, right? Good talking to you, baby.
I feel like Mr. Pentard could get this one because I feel like he's been doing well. Even if Dr. Ministran, I don't feel like he has charity on his side. So that's how I feel.
Okay, thank you so much for your telephone call, my dear. I do appreciate it. Let's take a couple of things into consideration, right? Let's touch on Anton first. I talk to Anton off the air. He and I talk, every so often. And I don't get the feel. Because you could have, candid conversations. You could be more vulnerable when you're out of the gaze of the public eyes. And I haven't picked up that there is definitely allegiance to the organization. There is definitely this alliance to the organization, but there isn't immediate gratification. There is only this sort of historic aspect of why he does. I can't speak for Anton. I'm only telling you this is what I've picked up. That's one. I just want to be clear with that, right? Because I know some FNMs who don't get paid and have the same zeal, passion, and determination to be able to speak up and on behalf of the organization. I think a lot of us need to come to a clear understanding in our society what this means. The same zealous approach that you have for your church, for your ACM, your ACW, for your praise team, for whatever, the same zealous approach that you have for your lodge, for your Rotary Club, all these particular things. We have identified that these groupings help to define ourselves in one way or another. And because of that definition, we stand firm behind those organizations. And I think that there's no difference when it comes to politics in this country. Telephone call on the line, go ahead. Go ahead, caller.
Howard, I want to know. The caller would call about Anton. Mm-hmm. I want to know if she is on the FNM payroll, because she got your show more than Anton. So I want to know if she's on the FNM payroll. Thank you.
I'll ask her. I appreciate you. I'll ask her. Yeah, I tell you, people are zealous about the thing that they believe in. They're just like the mother who in the back there, their child graduating would just say, "Thank you for coming to Abraham High School." All right, Sheila, that's all right, baby. That's Miss Sheila, I will use it. All right, baby. Screaming and so forth and so on, right? They got this kind of a zealous approach. No matter the productivity of the organization, no matter the productivity of your child, you can scream because that's yours. So I don't fight nobody. I don't fight nobody. I think we've gone beyond that point. I'm not going to fight you for that. What I am going to say is this about the internal organization of the Free National Movement, and this is what I understand. This is the call I get. Over the past 6 months to 8 months, people have been calling me, and when I go pick up my son, my children, my daughter, right? My daughter. When I go pick up my daughter to school, and there's one or two persons I know from the MCMs, and they would sit out with me and have good conversation, and they say, "Howard, don't mind what nobody's saying. I supported Dr. Minnis wholeheartedly, but Dr. Minnis' time has come and gone." These are the MCMs. These MCMs. I've had this conversation at least 38 times Let's be decent. Just under 50 times I've had this conversation in the past 8 months with various people. Howard, don't mind what people say. Minnis' time has come and gone. The council would not put Minnis back in this space. I say, you sure? I don't trust none of y'all. Y'all is Bahamian people. You're the same people who say, Howard, I can vote for you. Y'all are the same people who said, Howard, do you know I voted for you? I got 18 votes. Carl Comer get 190,000 votes. And I met 180,000 of y'all. And every one of y'all say, y'all vote for me. How? How? Even in the aftermath of defeat, you gonna lie and say, I supported you. My God. You sure? You want this the people you all gonna trust? Howard, listen to me. Minnis' time has come and gone. This is what they're telling me. Michael Pintard is the man for the organization. And he enjoys more than 75% support within the voting council of the Free National Movement. The long and short of it is that many of us have our own opinions of what's happening in the organization. But just like my girls say, none of our thumbs will get inky for this one. This ain't got nothing to do with us. If you're not a voting member in the Free National Movement, if you're not in the council, if you don't have voting privileges and rights as a part of the organization in the council, you won't be able to participate in this one-day convention. You could go as spectate, but you can't participate. And so the spectation and all this relentless social conversation and kind of chit-chat about what's happening, what's not happening, so forth and so on, can only seek to influence the outcome that socially people want to see. But I am assured, based upon significant information that I have, that if Dr. Hubert Alexander Minnis goes forward, he's going forward full throttle. And we could be able to speculate what that means. Whether or not Michael Pintard has the finances to be able to stand at the weight of what's happening in the organization, to identify the allegiance, to remind these people, let's not sleep now. Let's not sleep. I think a lot of us sleep. A great deal of the opportunities that these people have had in the Free National Movement over the past 7 years is as a result of one man, Dr. Hubert Alexander Minnis. Because under Ingram, we've known who Ingram people were. Historically, you could call a last name, you could attach them to an organization, and we know that they are a Minnis man. I'm sorry, they are an Ingram man. We know that. Many men, Ingram smile at them and say, I hear what you're saying, I know what you want to do, but you know, this will be a good spot for you. And don't do that. And never give them an opportunity to ascend to frontline politics. They've supported the party, they've sat in the back, but they've always allowed the quote-unquote intelligentsia of the organization to go out to the forefront. That's what we knew from the Free National Movement. When Minnis came in, those people who were the proverbial rocks that sank at the bottom of the organization were finally given an opportunity. My God, they became buoyant instantaneously. These same men who no one ever even considered them, now saying they ain't want nothing to do with dog. Minnis, that is, which is blowing my mind. But we wouldn't even know you and know what your capabilities are if Minnis didn't give you a chance. Now you saying to me that you ain't gonna vote for him, you ain't want nothing to do with it? This is what I'm asking questions. I said, but doesn't that reek a little bit ungrateful? No, Howard. This is a conversation that we have. And you know what they say to me? Howard, our time has come and gone. Minnis' time has come and gone. And now Michael Pintard is going to be able to lead the party to where it's supposed to go. We're eager to see it, guys. At the 1 o'clock time, you should be able to see Garth in the house with us, being able to talk about exactly what. I always enjoy Garth sitting with me just to be able to get a different perspective and talking about those things. So I want you guys to join in also. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259, anywhere from the family violence, 242-300-5720. Hit me up, 422-4796. I got to take this commercial break now. When we get back, we can talk about this, whether or not Minnis will tap into, in the event that he seeks to be able to present his name, himself, for leadership in the organization. The question that I have is whether or not he will tap into and dive deep in the bag of pettiness. Talk to me. There's political pettiness. What is that? Listen, brother, you wouldn't even been known. You wouldn't even been known if it wasn't for me. I ain't gonna need your support now. You think we can get to that? Quick commercial break, guys. We're gonna get to news and be right back after this.
The foundation. The foundation.
Bonneville Bones, established in 1970, is the leader in men's fashion in the Bahamas. We're conveniently located in the Mall at Marathon and the Harbor Bay Shopping Plaza, and fully stocked with everything you need for all occasions. Our Harbor Bay location is one door north of Alive, with the black and white signage of Bonneville Boutique. Both locations are open from 10 to 7 p.m. Monday through Saturday. Bonneville Bones and Bonneville Boutique, still the leader in men's fashion, located in the Mall at Marathon and the Harbor Bay Shopping Plaza.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Here's to the go-getters, the early risers, and the late-night dreamers. You, the visionaries, painting futures in your mind, in your studio, your office, your sacred space. Here's to the adventurers, explorers of every realm. To you, the innovators, turning the cogs of progress. In a world where connection is a lifeline, a pathway to possibilities. Alive is the perfect connection for everyone, every lifestyle, every day.
Visit BeAlive.com today.
Do you have uncontrollable debt? Are you ready to make that move to Fidelity for a stress-free future? These loans have a built-in savings plan that pays you unbeatable interest. Ask about our debt consolidation loans today. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas. Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Foundation. Foundation. The foundation.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, 96.9 FM radio. Howard Grant in your company, the foundation, on this beautiful, absolutely gorgeous Friday afternoon. Here, getting yourself prepared for the last few days of the year, last few days of the month as we transition. I know you guys are getting paid from government today. I tried to stomp to the ATM. My God, I said, forget about it. We will drink tap water, right? It's too much people out there. That's bananas. I'm not going out there today, right? So I hope you guys are doing good. I hope that you're being responsible with the steps that you have to take and make those things happen with a very clear understanding. I think that one day out of 7, we got to find ourselves ascending to stability. We got to start. We've done everything that we have to do, right? We've gone through the trial and tribulation of not having money. We're starting to make our money back. Now we have to think about the future, about how do we now preserve our money, or at least, if not preserve, invest. We need to identify projects that we can all believe in and support for the growth and development of ourselves and for the country. Let's talk about those things. Got to shout out my good, decent people over at Garden of Eden. I'm sure this weekend is going to have a great deal of conversation over some conch, some nice stew conch, some stew fish, or that's breakfast for those persons. Or great lunch. We were there for lunch the other day, had great lunch with my guy, Ephraim Jones. Ephraim Jones, you got to go there. This is a beautiful location. We laid back, we sat on the patio outside upstairs, and we had some great refreshing drinks, great house lemonade and stuff like that. My nieces were with us. They had some Alfredo chicken something, right? Chicken fettuccine, something like that. And, well, of course, I go in to get some fried fish and whatnot. But it was a beautiful time. I got to shout out my good, decent people for being able to do those things. Now, they may have the best Johnny bread in the country. How do I know this? My daughter asked for chicken wings and Johnny bread. I thought this was unique. I said, baby, what are you doing? She said, the Johnny bread is excellent, Daddy. I need some of this. Ma'am, can I have an extra one to go home? Guys, go down there to Garden of Eden. Check them out, please, over the weekend. It is a beautiful place. Go and check them out and, get yourself some of the best stew fish around. You got to do that. Go and check them out. All right? So that's that. The lines are open, guys. If you want to be able to do that, I want to talk about this couple of things now. At the top of the hour, we introduced this conversation. We introduced the concept and idea, but now we're going to take the gloves off. We have to talk real. We have to talk real. Over the next 5 days, we'll realize how the saying, the next 7 days, between this Friday and next week Friday, the next 7 days may be some of the roughest political days that we've seen in this country's history. Why? Because those who have significant alliance to you may break protocol and step out on their own. Howard, what are you saying? There are aspirations that exist within the Free National Movement. Beyond the fact that you relentlessly have a conversation about Dr. Minnis, why do we seek to forget that Hubert Alexander Ingram supported Dwayne Sands to get a position and eventually become the Prime Minister of the country? Why do we forget about this? Why? Why have you forgotten that the most strategic young player who has sought after and retained his position, moving significantly into strong seniority in the Free National Movement, is Shannon Cartwright? Why? Why have you forgotten these things? Why? Why are we going to play naive as though their allegiance and commitment tethered to a specific position in the organization, whether that be deputy, whether that be chairman, doesn't necessarily mean that this is the full potential that exists in them, one, and two, it doesn't mean that this is where their aspirations kind of fade off. They still hope for great things. Dr. Dwayne Sands is extremely articulate in his capacity as chairman of the Free National Movement, but he has not been the most, I can't say that he's the most impactful chairman of the organization. I dare say that Michael Pintard has been a better chairman than he has. Now, I don't know whether or not that's because of his profession. I don't know whether or not that's because of his quiet aspirations. I don't know any of these things. I don't know who put their name forward. I have some names that I'd like to put forward for chairman. But I can't call these people names because then, oh, Howard, you can mess up there and whatnot. I didn't say that. Howard, I never tell you. No, you calm down. You didn't tell me that. But I could say it. But I can hold it today. Dr. Dwayne Sands' position as chairman has been lackluster. Articulate, insightful, understanding the position, but he has not been present. Maybe because of the infighting that existed in the organization. Let's do this. Maybe because of the constant pushback. Maybe because of the gag orders. Maybe because of what was happening in the organization that it became overwhelming. Whatever it is, Dr. Dwayne Sands' position, I had great expectations from him. And he did just enough to let you know that I still exist, I'm still here, I'm still doing these particular things. But the tenacity and that in-your-face representation that we know that chairmen present, I don't think it existed for, not for this term, with Dr. Dwayne Sands. Now, I know that he has the potential. I know that he's had the capability. But I only ask myself whether or not the idea of the seed that was planted in his head to become the next prime minister or eventually become prime minister by Hubert Alexander Ingram, Did you nourish that tree as opposed to the tree of your responsibility that you were tethered to? Lines are open, guys. If you want to be able to join the conversation, please do so. Telephone call on the line. Go ahead. Call on the line. Hello?
Howard.
Hey.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
I kind of agree with you with Dr. Sam.
Let me hear it.
Yeah, you know.
Let me hear it. Now, you don't. Now, listen. These fellas get politically sensitive.
I ain't going there.
Okay, I ain't gonna fight you.
Anyhow,
I started. I can finish it. I ain't gonna fight you. The fella's politically sensitive.
Anyhow, we need a Fred Mitchell as a chairman. Not that we need him.
Give me a name. Give me a name who you think would be good for chairman.
Eh?
Give me a name who you think would be good for chairman.
Oh man, boy. What a fella who was chairman before, man. What's his name? Paul the past chairman.
Sydney?
I like him.
Sydney?
No.
Carl Culmer.
Not the bright one. No, definitely not him. Not a young one, man. Kind of dark.
Darren Cash.
That's it, right?
Yes.
You think so?
I haven't seen Darren in the organization for a long time.
I need to make an awesome chairman. Wherever he is, they need to find him. What is it? He used to be right on top of his game. So you remember that?
I know Darren very well.
Anyhow.
I appreciate your call, my dear.
Hey, I'm finished.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry about that.
I just called to say now that the convention has been called.
Mm-hmm.
After it's finished with, they need to come out this gate swinging.
Big time.
All the gloves on. Do you understand, Howard?
Mm-hmm.
Just ready.
Mm-hmm.
No slunking.
I agree with you 100%.
Tell Doctor what happened. You rushing me for what?
No. I ain't rushing you. I with you. I with you.
Okay,
I with you.
anyhow, my thing is, leave Dr. Miller's name out of this race, Howard. You hear me?
You think Dr. Millis? You think he can put himself forward?
No, I have nothing against Dr. Millis.
You think he's going to put himself forward for leadership?
If it's going on, a lot of people, not a lot, but the few persons who, I don't think he so much won't put himself out, you know. The persons who push him, who put himself out there. I think it's this, right? If Bahamas, including Bahamians like yourself and I, we ain't looking for no same PM who been there, done, come, saying they can just that, do nothing. Okay? Changing them all to something new. Remember that out, okay?
Mm-hmm.
We need fresh blood. Okay? At least I'm speaking for me. I can't say for we, right? But if the majority of boys like myself who are willing to get rid of this, the worst government ever, we need to look for somebody like a Michael Pittard, okay? Put him down. Another 5 years, he come do the same thing. Boom, move him and put somebody else. That's my take. Okay? Bye.
I appreciate your telephone call, my dear. Thank you so kindly. I ain't rush you. I rush you. I won't talk like this. I know fellas get sensitive. I know. I know you don't want me to call your name on the air, but your name is in the public realm. There has been significant words that many of us have not forgotten that was spoken of you, that was spoken over your life. And we're trying to figure out whether or not the political Samuel, watch what I do, one of the forefathers of our nation, who's identified as a political Samuel. Now, if you know the word of God, Samuel was a prophet. And whenever he spoke, it happened. Politically, we have seen Hubert Ingram in that stead for a long time. Over the years, he has lost a little bit. He brought this to the public, and I'd like to be able to say it. Over the years, with the changing of times, changing of mindsets, and a different type of leadership stepping into position, his political collateral not necessarily diminished, but it shifted from the front burner to the back. He has been significant in being able to assist the Free National Movement getting over certain ledges, including Dr. Hubert Minnis. Socially, a lot of persons still say Minnis only won because Papa showed up. Now, I need to know whether or not he still has collateral. If this 9-volt battery still have juice in it when you put it on your tongue, if it still sting. I'd like to know, after he's already identified Dwayne Sands and his capacity, whether or not Dwayne takes this to heart and puts his name forward over the next 7 days. This is going to be some of the most turbulent 7 days that the Free National Movement has seen. But in the midst of turbulence, this is only to be able to get to a smoother time. And my mind says to me, this is only to get to a time where we could be able to see smooth sailing. Because you cannot win against no one with this division. Will this one-day convention unite the Free National Movement? Let me take a telephone call. Call on the line. Go ahead.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
How are you?
All is well. What's happening?
The way you talking, how you know what's going to happen after the one-day convention?
I asked it. That's a question I had.
Wait.
That's a question I had.
Huh?
That's a question I had. I'm asking you.
Well then, hey. Anyway, the lady who just called, right?
Mm-hmm.
The last caller.
Mm-hmm.
She said, you need something new. And you even ain't grumbled. But just look back. You see what Minnis did, Davis did,
Mm-hmm.
All in that house is young children, my friend.
I don't think they're children,
but
but
fellas, them ministers. And give some of them too. So, what's wrong with that? You dear? Hello?
I read here. I listen.
Let me hear you.
I listening to you.
Let me hear you. If only you laugh.
I listening to you.
Yeah, but
now I can say this to you. Hold on 2 seconds now. Now, when my caller called on and said you need something new, the first thing my mind went on is nourishment. That's the first thing my mind went on. That they present you all these new hamburger this and all these things, but it never have nourishment. It's the new wave where people like to be able to eat something fast and quick and give them the idea in their mind that they full, but they ain't really full. Ain't no nourishment in these things. That's the first thing I think when I started. I didn't say anything, but that's the first thing pop up in my mind.
Well, then
When you go to all, that's where nourishment is.
It is what it is.
Okay, let me hear it.
And if, well, I don't know who Mr. Pentard going to pick. But, hey, let's wait and see. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
I can't hear you.
I right here. You fighting me today. I am right here.
Anyway, I say good friend. See, you don't know me, but I know you.
I appreciate you, my brother. I know you.
You know me?
We spoke, yes, sir.
Where you know me from?
We spoke several times on the phone, didn't we?
You're guessing. Now, what do we talk about?
Okay, let me see now. You're getting deep. Everybody needs to know our business.
Yeah, but hey, it's my business.
Okay, tell me what we talk about.
I got a idea.
Jog my memory. Let me hear it.
How is the 60-year-old lady?
The 60-year-old lady?
Yeah.
Okay. You need to stop. No. My girl, she's listening to me right now. She's good. She's good. She's right here. She's right there. Yes.
Well, like I say, you don't know me.
Yes.
But I know you.
Yes.
Because I tell you one time, you say, but hey, I got a 60-year-old lady, you know.
I remember.
You have a good day, my friend.
Thank you, my brother. I appreciate you. Good talking to you, man. Good talking to you guys. The lines are wide open. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Anywhere from the family of islands, 242-300-5720, or hit me up 422-4796. my good friend is talking about a very good friend of mine. I cannot call her name right now. She calls me and she says, Howard, you got to find me a husband. I ain't going to call your name. It was my girl. Praise God for you. Howard, you got to find me a husband. So, trying to be the good gentleman and decent man that I am, I do my best to assist. We haven't found nothing stick just yet, but we can try. We keep on trying. So it says, LOL, I think you getting a check from the PLP. Y'all need to stop, right? He says, I'm an FNM, and I can say that Michael Clifton Pintard will be the leader after the convention. Parties have been calling for convention now, and the convention has been called, and they are crying. Damned if you do, and damned if you don't. There's a text is coming through. So it says, good day, brother. I was still a strong supporter of the Free National Movement, and with Honorable Michael Pintard leadership, I would have supported Pintard and an exceptional and educated Bahamian son in Cat Island, Rugged Island, and Sila. Right? This is from Rudy in Grand Bahama. Rudy, shouts out, what's happening with you? Says, Howard, stop trying to murky the waters in the Free National Movement. Dr. Minas cannot win a general election in this country in the next election. This is Pintard's time. My God, I thought it was this time for Mac. I'm not going to fight you. So it says, Howard, how Michael for leader of the FNM? Okay. So it says, Howard, good day. The only chairman they should have always had was Ellsworth. There's a text coming through, Ellsworth. I didn't call your name. There's a text coming through. The only chairman that they should have and always had, is Ellsworth. They robbed in last time and then you. Two great options. Now, see, when you push me in that, I appreciate it. But, I know that. So it says the Free National Movement should ask C. Allen Johnson to join their team as deputy chairman and spokesperson for them. This ability to articulate the issues and solutions should help them. There's a text is coming through. And also it says, Howard, Minas can't even pass by or buy a win. Tell Minas stay home, please. He is a failed prime minister. Let me take a telephone call. Call on the line with us live. Go ahead.
Hey, now it's me again.
You're back again. My God.
Yeah, I got my check yesterday.
You got it?
Uh-huh.
Send me something.
So she wanted to know.
Send me something, eh?
It's small, little. Can't buy it. Can't half a can of corned beef with it. But in any event, I don't carry on like Anton. I don't. Mm-hmm. So I cannot be measured with him. I would say Anton the Great. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You understand? Mm-hmm. However, when you was asking who we thought would be good for chairman, I have two picks in mind. My one pick would be Mr. Howard Grant.
Oh, you need to stop. How am I getting that?
And my pick two is you just called his name Ellsworth Johnson. I love the way he talks. And I feel like because he seems to be in touch with a lot of things. He's quiet a lot, but I feel like when it's his time to speak, he speaks, and I like the way he does it. So that you two guys would be my two picks. I don't care what you say right now, Howard.
Listen, Howard is not in the Free National Movement. Amen?
That's okay. You still got your card. As long as you got that card, you can be the pinky red.
I don't even know what my card is. Let's say I don't have it.
But, like you were saying, I don't like Dr. Dwayne Sands much. I like his personality, mind you. Don't get me wrong. But I feel like he is not up there and out front like he needs to be. I don't know if because I'm gauging him by a Fred Mitchell. I don't know. But that's how I feel. I feel like Fred Mitchell is overdo it, but I still feel like he would be a gauge or a chairman. Am I right? What do you think about that?
I like what you say. I can say something. I appreciate your telephone call, my dear. You're a good, decent woman, right? I can say something. Now, y'all gonna fight me. And Dwayne Sands can call me and cuss me up, right? He may tell me some choice words, but I have to say this. I think Dwayne Sands is an extremely intelligent man. I've often had conversations about the fact that I see him as wielding two swords. And his professional sword is undeniable. I've said this on many occasions, that you cannot shake a stick at him. You can't even come into arm's length of what his capacity and capabilities, his experience in his field is absolutely undeniable. His sword that he wields from a politics standpoint, from a political standpoint, despite the fact that he has some of the best coaches, some of the best persons that can be able to provide him mentorship and say to him the waters to be aware of, to watch out. Despite all that he has access to from a political standpoint, his political sword is not as sharp. I don't want to say it's rusty. It is not as sharp as his professional sword. Dr. Dwayne Sands will always be required, a crucial member. He can always add significant value to anything within the organization from an advisory and an executive standpoint. Dr. Dwayne Sands should be in the executive and in the advisory capacity of the Free National Movement, if that's where he seeks to be. There are many men who did not work out well that always end up in the cabinet of the Bahamas but cannot win a constituency. I care not to call their names. Hubert Ingram identified these men. Minnis brought a few of these men on. They couldn't win a constituency if you give them 1,000 vote head start. They just cannot win. Their personality is not for frontline politics. But they are technocrats and they understand the makeup, the political science. You need these guys on your team. I think that this is where Dr. Sands is. As it relates to what the chairman should be, I have always stated, in my mind, recently another name came up to the forefront in my mind, but I've always stated that I believe that Ellsworth Johnson would be superb. And the first thing pop up in your mind is when Bradley Roberts was stunned when Ellsworth took on that very strong position, that sharp position, as they sat on Jerome's show. That's the first thing pop up in your mind. Ellsworth will be superb in this position. He never said this to me. He never showed me that he had aspirations. He never said any of these things. He sat with me over the past few months. He would be superb in this capacity. But this is just me. And most recently, I've seen articulation and youth and a very clear understanding of the FNM's constitution and strength in the person of Travis Robinson. This is only Howard. I'm sure that Travis has his own aspirations, his own ideas as to where he sees himself for the organization, but I believe that he would be superb in the capacity as chairman for the organization. Let me take this quick commercial break, ladies and gentlemen, and be right back after this.
Foundation. Foundation. The foundation. The foundation. Foundation.
Get ready for another exciting Fish Fry Friday, May 3rd at Margaritaville, downtown Nassau. Kicking off the month of May, celebrating Nurses Month. Night Nurse. From 6:30 p.m. to 11:30 p.m., featuring the Big Band Visage and DJ Beats. We salute all the nurses as we celebrate Nurses Month at Fish Fry Friday.
Me girl call her ask if I leave home. Well, I tell she are real close. Girl, I almost there.
Admission $25 general, $55 for the Bahamian Buffet at Vacation Cafe and the party. All government workers get $5 off their entry with your work ID. You can win passes to dine at Vacation Cafe and passes to the water park. So make your plans to be at Fish Fry Friday. For the best in Soca Bahamian and your favorite old school jams. Fish Fry Friday, Margaritaville, downtown Nassau, 12 Old Bob, May 3rd.
Get ready! On May 4th and 5th, athletes from around the world will compete to secure their spot in the Paris Olympics. Come, witness history as our Bahamian athletes run against the world and chase the sun. From paradise to Paris at the BTC World Athletic Relays here in Nassau, Bahamas at the Thomas A. Robinson National Stadium. Get your tickets now at worldrelaysbahamas24.org or at the Andre Rogers Baseball Stadium box office or at BTC Mall at Marathon or BTC Southwest Plaza. BTC World Relays. Be there.
Great news! Ron's Electric Motors' new location on Cowpen Road, right next to Island Luck, is open Saturdays and Sundays. So for those needing repairs on electric motors, generators, welding machines, water pumps, battery chargers, electric lifts, transformers, and power tools, Ron's Cowpen Road location can have you up and running on weekends. Don't forget, you can still visit Ron's Electric Motors on Wolf Road and Claridge Road, and now Ron's new location on Cowpen Road. Dial 356-0249 or 323-5267.
The Grand Bahama News is available every Tuesday in the Nassau Guardian. You can buy your local paper at Freeport Convenience Stores, Western Bakery, DeGregory's Fine Foods, and Bellevue Gifts. Now is the time to reach your Grand Bahama Market with affordable packages, including print and digital. Call GB News Sales Representative Kavandre at 822-6717 or message him on WhatsApp for ad rates. Classified ads are now available every Tuesday as well. Keep up with everything Grand Bahamian every Tuesday in the Nassau Guardian.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Foundation. Foundation.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. A few minutes left in the show. If you want to be able to join in the conversation, please do so. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Anywhere from the family violence, 242-300-5720. Hit me up, 422-4796. We've forgotten a few things. We've forgotten a few elements. We haven't spoken about it. You're consumed and concerned solely with Dr. Minnis in his particular capacity. And you're consumed and concerned solely for Michael Pintard. So this is the race to see. This is the leadership race. But there are others who have been, chomping at the bit, trying to find themselves strategically in position to prunks on leadership in due time. Now, whether they've articulated it themselves or whether there has been social speculation that they're moving towards it, we've heard with no doubt that former Prime Minister Hubert Ingram supports Dwayne Sands significantly, to the point that he sees him in the capacity as Prime Minister one day. Now, how do we get there? Well, there is a track road, a course that gets you there. And that course, for the most part, finds itself at the helm of the leadership of an organization. I'm going to put myself out there on a limb. And I'm going to say this. This is prime time. This may be the only time over the next 20 years that the Free National Movement has this level of uncertainty in it. That everything is open, that every man for himself and God for us all as we vie for this particular position, all in an effort to be able to settle the score and shut the mouth of the naysayers. So in this kind of an open position where everything is open, this is the best time to shoot your shot. There doesn't seem to be any alliances. There isn't, from a viewing standpoint, any allegiance. This is the best time. If Dr. Sands is moving towards leadership, this is the best time. Now, there is a second part of this coin. In the event that he goes forward and he loses, this could be the end of his political career. Yeah. You have to know how to play your cards in this thing. In the event that he goes forward and he loses, this could be the end of his frontline political career. He's done this for 4 election cycles now. This could possibly be the end of it. If he goes for the whole hog and he's not successful, this could be the end. That's one. I don't think we've spoken enough about the way that Shannon Norton has found himself in the deputy capacity in the Free National Movement. I don't think we've spoken enough on that posture, poise, and his ability in the midst of significant, heavy opposition. He found himself victorious. I don't think that we've done enough to identify his ability to navigate and always stay steadfast and focused on his objective. I don't think that we've done that enough. I think it's important that we, the observers, identify the talents that's coming out of Shannon Norton Cartwright from a political standpoint. And we pay due respect and identify him in strategic leadership position. Now, I don't know whether or not his aspirations are right off the top all the way up to leadership, but I see him within the trifecta of leadership in the Free National Movement. I don't know who's going for deputy. I don't know who's going for leader. I don't know but I see him in the trifecta in these particular capacities. And it's interesting to me. Let me take this telephone call. Caller, go on the line.
Howard Grant.
Hey, how you doing?
Everything good?
Yeah, man. What's happening?
Listen to me. That gentleman who talk about that 60, number 60 made me jealous.
I know.
You know, I had my eyes on that too. But let's talk sense now.
Listen
to me.
Your girl listening, you know, you need to stop.
I know she listening.
Praise God.
Listen, and I'll always want to talk to her.
All right.
But let's talk politics.
Let me hear it.
If Dr. Minnis, if I could have voted between Dr. Minnis and Pintard, I would have voted for Minnis. Because it'll make it easier for the PLP.
No, let me hear why. Let me hear why.
Because it will make it easier for the PLP.
So a vote
if you
for
allow
a vote
five
for
rallies
Minnis.
for election.
A vote for Minnis is a vote for the
Minnis
people.
of the FNM. You only need for 2.5.
Hold on, wait. Let me get something clear. A vote for Minnis, and then the organization, as he steps towards the position to become the next prime minister, is automatically a vote for the PLP. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Minnis go back to PLP when Anstown. Now, I'm saying you'll have to have 2.5 rallies to beat Minnis. You might have to have 3 to beat Pintard. But now, if this becomes a 3-way race with Minnis, Pintard, and Dwayne Sands, watch it now. Minnis, Pintard, and Dwayne Sands are going after the same people. Minnis has his people. So Minnis might get wiggly way in a little bit. Pintard and Dr. Dwayne Sands going after the same people. The only difference with Pintard and Dr. Dwayne Sands is Hubert Minnis, Hubert Ingram, with Dr. Sands. That's the only difference. Now, this is how I see the run can be if it can be. Dr. Sands can carry Brown in as his deputy.
Hold on. Dr. Sands
can carry Komalafi as his deputy.
Dr. Sands can carry Brian in as his deputy?
No.
You mean
Dr.
Minnis?
Minnis
Okay, go ahead.
can carry Brian in as his deputy. Brian don't have no more weight. Pintard will carry Komalafi as his deputy to try get some votes from the DNA. Now, I don't know who Dr. Dwayne Sands will use. But the deputy at the M&M now, he ain't nowhere in the race. Ain't nobody ride with him. Ain't nobody get him. He on his own. You understand what I'm saying?
I hear
and
what
let me
you're saying.
close on this.
Yeah, let me.
You all were talking about Pintard against Mr. Brave Davis. Grand Bahama is an F&M town. And Pintard couldn't beat Mr. Davis in a by-election in Grand Bahama. You think he could beat him in a general election in Nassau? The F&M town, he couldn't win. You think he could come to Nassau and the PLP town and win?
Well, he couldn't win because he didn't listen.
Oh, what they say he shouldn't have run.
Oh, but that was strong political advice.
But listen to me with that. Listen to me with that there. You ain't gonna run in your house. That's like telling the Wally boys don't come Bay Street Boxing Day.
That don't make no difference.
Okay? But listen to me. How many times in that by-election did you hear Dr. Minnis' name called?
It had nothing to do with him. I can't remember his name being called significantly.
Okay. You know what Menace can campaign on now? They couldn't win without him. See that work in his favor?
Wow.
That work in his, they couldn't win without Menace. I can say that. If Menace was there, you know it might have made a difference. I know it might have made a difference, but he could campaign on that. They couldn't win without me.
That's heavy what you're saying. If Menace was there, I don't know if my Ricardo Grant would have been there.
It mightn't have made a difference, but you wouldn't know because he wasn't there.
Yeah. I appreciate you
They
calling me,
wake up politically, wake up Hubert Ingram, and Hubert Ingram couldn't get on the bad paper bike.
Hubert Ingram is
You almost get smart in the paper bike.
Hubert Ingram is a political insomniac. He never slept. He never been to sleep yet.
Listen to me.
This is what he does.
I can now say what Dr. Menace had said. The Ingram era right now. These young people now don't know nothing but Hubert Ingram. These young voters now, they don't know nothing but Hubert Ingram. Because they're not teaching it in the schools. You ask them, what's the Linden Building? You pick the average 16, 15, 17-year-old now and show them the dollar bill. And ask them who this man is. Just put your name, your finger over your name. And they can't tell you who he is.
Wow.
It's bad because they're not teaching it in the school. They're trying to tell the children, bring a frog to school to dissect a frog. And
what do you...
Listen to me. Listen to me.
Go ahead.
I can try to see if I could become an F&M. You think if I could become an F&M Times convention, I could vote?
But you only got this weekend to do it, so quickly.
Well, I gave it minutes.
Hurry up. Go to the headquarters open. Go now.
I gave it minutes to make it easier for Mr. Davis. So
You're doing too much. See you later, my brother. Thank you so much for your telephone call. I just want to touch a couple of things. I see your telephone calls on the lines. If you give me the grace to touch this for 2 seconds. You said Menace going in with Brown and Pintard going in with Komalafe. Y'all ain't gonna like me for saying these things, but in the next 7 days, we can trouble the water significantly. When Menace popped out the plane, 3 people came behind Menace to sell his book in Long Island. We said this already. We saw Renwood Wells, who still had the indentation and imprint of the hospital tag on his hand. We saw Desmond Bannister, who came out in a lot of us said, my God, we ain't seen Bannister in the longest time, other than the letter that he sent into the Free National Movement for the convention. And then we saw Branville McCartney and said, oh my God, what the hell is this? Anyone who's observing know that the optics matter. There's politics, there's the Bahamas, there's the culture, this is what it is. The optics matter. Then we saw Branville McCartney, who didn't care to speak with us from a political standpoint. My good friend, this is my former leader. He didn't talk to me from a political standpoint for a long time. All of a sudden he showed up. He says, Howard, let's do it. I said, okay, let's do it. Boom. He got transparent, even though we was in the line of possibility. He gave us some insight and very clearly says that he supports Menace and if he's vying or seeks to be able to move towards this position. You can't just put Brand there because Brand didn't pop on the plane by himself. So proximity and value based upon the assessment or whatever Doc is putting them through to identify who is going to ascend to this position. We know Renwood Wells' allegiance to Menace. We know. We know Renwood Wells has a relentless allegiance to Dr. Menace. We know that. We know the capacity that look at this. You're late, sir. Go right to detention. You're late. You're late. You're there. You need to stop, right? Listen, we know the commitment and the position that that Desmond Bannister had as Deputy Prime Minister of the country and Deputy Leader of the organization after Peter Turnquest, after what happened with K. Peter Turnquest. We know about these things. Okay? You cannot just say, Menace going with Brand. Obviously, there is evaluation that's happening right now for Menace to decide who, from a public standpoint, is getting more traction. Bran is getting significant traction. 3 people pop out the plane. Bran, Renwood, and Bannister. Come on, man, talk to me. Let's be very clear. Now, that's one. Pintard and Komolafe. Komolafe's political value and collateral is in the red. She has not proven herself from a political standpoint other than she is a woman who's willing to stand up and speak out from a political standpoint. Her transformation with the vision that she could have been able to execute within the DNA wasn't there. Her transformation in these particular standpoints. When we said that we thought that she would have done well going back to the PLP, and then the conversation came back that she was on the board, then she left the board, so forth and so on. Now, she's in proximity of the Free National Movement. Orinthia Komolafe's value politically, from a political standpoint, like Hubert Ingram would say, her political collateral has been diminished, and she is no longer an asset. She may be a political liability. So this is not necessarily a good move. Not just to be able to say, I seek to be able to have diversity. I seek to be able to pull this kind of proximity to me and move in these directions. It's not enough. We need to know that there was significant value affixed to her position. And know that she could, listen to me, the votes for the DNA diminished under her position. So why you say that he can pull in the DNA votes? That don't make no sense. The votes for the DNA diminished by 50%, nearly 50%, under her leadership. So I don't understand. Let me talk and let's just make sense. Let me take a telephone call. Caller, go ahead.
Howard.
Hey.
This is interesting. Because as far as I know, the convention was going to be in October.
No, they said before October. They said it's going to happen before October.
But I said around that time, that's what I understood to be September, October.
But if
in football, I would say this would be like an onside kick or a quick snap or a Hail Mary. Because they did, now, they had a big contest at the headquarters last week. So who can share the meritocracy committee? Pintard, President beat Minutes hands down. I guess Pintard feel like he has the meritocracy on his side. So this is what let's get Minutes off guard. Let's get Minutes off guard. Now, his momentum ain't up yet. So whoever did this was kind of smart, I would think, because Minutes ain't got a setup during the race. Because in 3-4 months, Minutes would have been have his team line up.
But that's what you got to do. I said them from a political standpoint. We had a conversation about the possibility of the PLP going to a snap election. We talked about this, and I said this would be the best time for the PLP to go to a snap election by the end of the year because the FNM, if they go into a late convention, cannot unify before then.
No, I think Brave good. Brave could go 5 years. No, Brave good. He's working hard. He's a hard-working man. Let him do what he do. But let's say, to me, right, my question is the UB who can be a member for the UBP side? Is it likely one for leader or deputy leader again?
The UBP doesn't exist.
Brent.
The UBP doesn't exist.
That's the money people that exists behind the scene. They need somebody in cabinet. So when we have been meeting on Eastern Road to tell them what's going on.
Okay, so if the UBP exists, somebody please bring me one application.
Okay. Who didn't get the party all the money? UBP,
I light skin enough. I can get it.
You young. UBP still in power. To run the games, All
right.
Trust me. The UBP and FNM, UBP still run things behind the scene. They give the body money from there, from 72 to now.
This is a 50-year-old conversation.
But still, why do you have millions instead of twice? They drove bags of money.
My God. I'm not
Trust me, this thing go with money. They want everything. You ever seen a white person become PLP? No, we became
Ryan Pinder.
UBP.
I can call at least 1,000 people name who I know in the back of the scenes. If we go right now on Long Island and you see all them fellas singing song on their PLP shirt right now. So let's not make the idea that white is synonymous with the Free National Movement. And let's not give the idea that PLPs are not a part of, white PLPs are not a part of the organization, of the PLP. Let's just be very clear. This was founded by white people. Founded. We need to stop. I got a couple more telephone calls. God, say something to the people.
Oh, man, I'm going to listen to these people today. But Howard, all of you have said so far has been truth. And that's what I like about the foundation. Those people who are tuning in, I want to thank you for your continuous support. I've gotten numerous calls today.
That you were supposed to be here a long time.
Yeah, but, the boat was only going 8 miles per hour, sir.
I know.
Coming from Green Key, that's 63 miles away. I was the captain of the boat, and my one rule is that safety first. And I wanted to make sure I got all souls back home. So we came home with a bountiful harvest. I'm happy to be a Bahamian. I can fish in my waters. I saw some tourists out there taking some of our fish. I don't like that too much, but it is what it is. But we got some red snapper, some grouper, some mahi,
So come,
black snapper, all kinds of things.
Come join me on Monday then.
Yeah, we can do this on Monday. I owe you 2 shows now.
You got to join me on Monday because we're having a conversation over the next 7 days. Is going to be hell in this country. And the Free National Movement is going to see the real fire.
Oh, mercy.
Bubble to the forefront.
The foundation has fire.
They get, no, not the foundation. The Free National Movement. The Free National Movement over the next 7 days until from this weekend, watch your telephone go crazy. From this weekend from today to next week, Friday, you're going to see some craziness.
But Howard, you know how many people are listening to this show? How many people stop me on the side of the road and say, Garth, are we listening? This is crazy. The Bahamian people are looking for the answer, the solution. We've been waiting for this for 25, 30 years. I don't know if we're ready for right decision making, but we are certainly in tune to the process of the decision making. And this is going to be a very hot convention. I can assure you of that.
I'm excited about it. I'm excited to identify who is going to emerge leader in the Free National Movement.
We are all
excited.
I'm this is going to make the decision for many people as to what we're going to do in 2025. If there's a 2026, but 2025.
See, I think on Monday we can have to stretch the conversation even further because the truth of the matter is that it's not just is Minnis going to return. Minnis has done something that people don't want me to talk about.
Really?
He has presented himself as Perry Christie did, leading up to 2012.
As?
When he came with hat in hand. When he came as an apologetic politician, when he put on the cloak of humility in the midst of the public and said, I know I made some mistakes. This is something that we hadn't heard before.
But you know something, we did say something that the leader of the Royal Opposition has to make a very quick decision about the convention. And
You
it has
have
to be
to.
sooner than later.
We said this.
And so we have to give him credit that
And
at
I
least he made
said
the decision.
that it should be by the middle of May.
You did say that.
I said this.
And they're going to do it in June 1st.
June 1st.
Which is right after May.
June 1st. This is what I said they should do this before the children come out, before summer break and all these things and so forth and so on.
How are they listening?
They should do it quick.
But they're listening how?
You know why? Because people traveling, things happening, so forth and so on. If the PLP is galvanizing to do anything, they cannot beat a united Free National Movement. And that's the only thing that you're fighting. You're fighting
A united PLP.
A united PLP still can't beat a united Free National Movement. You know why? Because people vote against governments. No matter they're good, no matter they're good they've done.
Want to vote against this government, and they're looking for reasons to, and they have to find the reason why. You're quite correct.
Listen to me. You ever watch people quilt? You ever watch these old people in these very cold countries? They sit down and they stitch together this big quilt, so forth and so on. People are politically quilting concepts and ideas to put together to throw over the PLP. This is what they've done. This is what they've done.
That is correct.
They're putting together these concepts and ideas to go against the PLP.
So you wear a black shirt.
Are you not, sir? Why don't you leave my shirt alone?
Okay, let me get them callers then. What are they saying?
Scotty, you got a couple seconds. Go ahead.
Yeah, good afternoon. Thank you, God. for reminding Howard to come back.
What's up, Anton? Go quick.
Man, I
Go
tired,
quick,
man.
Anton.
I tired. What's happening?
If only for coming in the studio to say that.
Go quick,
God
Anton.
bless you.
Go quick, Anton.
Now, let's hear very, very quickly. Let me go over some quick stuff, Howard. Who will the money and the afternoon follow? The official leader, Pentad, or the former Prime Minister Minnis, who, contrary to popular belief, did the miraculous in his draw-dropping afternoon victory. He still has free political currency and support, Howard and God, right? Let's look at the next consideration. Of the 7 FNM MPs, who supports Pentad, who supports Minnis? In my view, that was the determining factor in who became Pentad's running mate as deputy of the FNM. Pentad, in my view, needed to identify the person who would either support him fully or, at minimum, be the most neutral and not seek to create further division in the FNM as they seek to navigate this most turbulent time in the FNM.
And that person was Shannon Conrad.
Next point. Absolutely it is, because the others are, in my view, leaning towards Minnis. Next point. If you're talking about going into a general election, if you're talking about, y'all can hear me?
Yes, we're listening.
Okay, if you're talking about going into a general election, in my view, Minnis has several options. He has for running mate. He has his former Deputy Prime Minister, Desmond Bannister, who's also his family. He has who's also an elder statesman in the country and still has great political currency nationwide. He has a current, if they use the same approach they used in the last election, he has a current member of parliament who's also his family in Kwesi Thompson, who's out of FNM country, right? And then he has recently joined on the Minnis wagon. He has Granville McCartney, which is a third option, but a less likely option in my view. To some of the callers, last point, Howard, to some of the callers' point of view regarding what's going to happen in the next general election. In my personal observation and looking at historical data, young people don't vote in general elections, right? And so unless there's a massive turnaround, I don't think we have a concern to worry about as it relates to the young people not knowing who Hubert Ingram is or not knowing who Hubert Minnis is or whoever, because they large and in part don't make the determining factor as to who will form the next government. It's the older persons and the middle-aged persons in the country, and historically speaking. And I believe ultimately it'll be a very interesting election. The current chairman, in my view, like you, Howard, I agree with your positioning. I also believe that Ellsworth could make a stronger chairman, but certainly Darren Cash would make the ultimate chairman because he's very dogged in his approach. And looking at the way he conducted himself outside of Michael Pentad, who I thought was their best chairman, unfortunately fell into stepping down from the post. Anyway,
You need to
bye. You know what? We'll talk about this later in the week, Howard, if you bring it up again.
Yeah, I can
Thank
bring
you
it
all
up
for
again.
the opportunity. But it'll be an interesting outcome after their national
we can have time to talk about it. We can talk about it next week.
How they move forward and run things up.
Okay, my brother. We can talk about it next week. Thank you so much for your telephone call. We got 1 minute before we get out of here, Garth. I want to thank you for being able to show up for 0.7 seconds of the show. You have done a lot.
Hey,
right?
my greatest apologies. My greatest part of the day is to be here with you and the foundation and the listeners. So I thank you for inviting me again. Made every effort to be here. But Howard, listen, you're on fire. And as you said, on Monday, we will be prepared.
I got to stretch this thing out. He said in so many words that Shannon Cartwright was the lowest common denominator. And he strategically placed him in this kind of a position for there to not be a pushback. Because the allegiance that Iram had to Minnis, we know that he couldn't let Iram be his deputy. The allegiance that Kwesi has to Minnis, we couldn't let Kwesi be that particular, in that capacity. The sort of a new novice approach that Adrian White has, is hard to kind of put him in this kind of position just yet. The turmoil that surrounds Adrian Gibson, we couldn't put him in this kind of position. This is heavy what Antoine did just now. I got to talk about this.
You have to talk about this, but it's only here in the foundation that you can just give us a synopsis of everything, put it all together. And so far, Howard Grant, we have been accurate. I must say we've been accurate. They can say whatever they want to say.
We only was within 2 weeks.
TLP after that.
We was within 2 weeks.
Whatever they want to say about us.
I said mid-May.
We have been accurate. We have been accurate.
Mid-May.
I don't think we've been wrong as yet.
You got the time.
And so far, so good.
Excited.
Let's continue to go on.
Guys, I can see you on Monday, God's Spirit Life. Have a beautiful weekend. Make sure that you go out there and enjoy yourselves and do so responsibly. I just pray that the Father keeps you guys. Make sure you show up on Monday. I don't want to hear nothing but no shooting, no this, no that. The only thing I want to hear is, oh my God, the woman got morning sickness. That's it.
It makes more babies.
That's it. That's the only thing I want to hear. Guys, enjoy your weekend. Go down to my good friend, Garden of Eden. Check that particular thing out. Have a good time. And I'm going to see you on Monday, God's Spirit Life, right here on The Foundation.
Foundation.